Good morning, world. Good morning, world. It's your boy, Mr. Epic. Sure, checking out the new podcast. Bring y'all a little bit of everything: music, politics, relationship, conversation.
Uh-huh.
On the mic, we got my man Bogart. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hey, my name's Bogart Scott-Free. My friends call me Bogey.
And of course, we got Mark Price in the building.
What's good, y'all? Mark Price, man, representing San Jose.
What's happening, y'all? Top of the morning.
So yeah, peep game. So we're gonna just rock with us. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna introduce y'all some new music. We're local artists as we get this thing going. Day one, and just some brothers just breaking bread. So we was actually talking. Might as well just start off since it's football season. We was already talking about a couple of shit earlier before we even started, so we can just rock with that. And you got the fantasy thing you're doing too.
Oh, yep. Shout out to the real fantasy playmakers. Follow us at GMM Network. Also follow us at HeddPodd.
Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying? On all platforms. You know what I'm saying?
Hold up, Bogey. I got a bone to pick with you.
Okay. All right, here we go. Bring it.
Speaking of fantasy, I listened to your last fantasy podcast.
Okay.
My man, you had Christian McCaffrey ranked super high
I did.
last week.
Yeah,
and
super
he
low.
Went for 37 yards total. Bro.
Okay, guys, check this out. When I'm going through these rankings, right? Mind you, it was week two. It was week 2. So I'll make this one quick. Long story longer. It was week 2. And when I go through the type of players like a CMC is, and the type of volume he's gonna get, and the talent, I have to put him. I had to put him at number 1. I couldn't put Zeke number 1 because Zeke was still coming back and still getting a less workload. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at the end of the day, I would rather be wrong about that than be like, I was right about Christian McCaffrey. I ranked him hella low. Because if you have him, you're starting him. You know what I mean?
No,
Because
for
he has
sure.
the potential of finishing 1. But then, this is why it's important to watch. As we watch more, our opinions can change because, for instance, Todd Bowles is running that defense now. And he was, if you guys remember him with when he was with Arizona, he
Yeah.
gave everyone trouble.
Yeah.
He stops on the run.
Nah, he was solid for that.
Yeah, so that didn't surprise me, but I didn't think it would manifest that fast. Matter of fact, Saquon, they're going to take on Saquon Barkley this week. I had Saquon. Now I learned, so I had Saquon a little lower.
That's what's
You know
up.
what I mean, even though he's normally a top 3 play. You know what I mean? Because they could stop the run. But I digress. I like that though. I need you on the show now.
I'll be on this show, man.
Yeah.
So sort of pivoting into a different direction, man. Y'all heard the news about AB?
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah,
Right?
man.
We was just talking about this outside.
Oh man.
So my question to y'all:
Did
Who do you
Tekashi
think
really snitch?
who do you think gets signed first, right? Or has a better chance of getting signed?
Ooh.
Kaepernick
Ooh.
or AB?
Man.
AB.
You know what? Okay, one Kaepernick. Okay, so you said AB.
I'm saying AB.
What about you, Price?
I'll tell
I'm
you why,
saying
but you
AB
get-
too.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd say obviously I'll say AB, but I don't
need a
think
new
it's this
agent.
year. and there's a good chance I'd just say AB because maybe in a few years, even if it's not next season. Because think about it like this: someone like Kaepernick sued the league, and then they settled out with him. They're not gonna let this man who had them or bested them get back into this league.
Was it a lawsuit? I thought it was just
He filed a grievance and
He
he
did?
took
Okay.
it all the way to the big courts, and then they settled out with him, and then they made him sign a non-disclosure agreement, so he can't even say the amount.
That's right. I remember that part.
So it might even been like 10 million, and maybe for his movement it was like, okay, it's not about the money, it's about me just besting the NFL. So they'll never let him back in. And with Brown, now you got the Me Too. What, he tried to threaten the bitch, right? Me Too movements on him. You know what I mean? We're in cancel culture, right? They're canceling this man.
Yeah,
my God.
he's not gonna make it.
So
I mean,
it's tough, but
yeah.
he's such a talent, and now you might even be able to get, maybe his ego can get a little turned down
He
a
gonna have
little
to
bit,
hold
and you
himself
could
for sure.
sign him to
He's gonna have to hold
something.
himself.
Okay, how about this?
Yeah.
Who's having the worst month, right? AB, who got released twice, lost about 50 mil plus,
Man.
or Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Ooh.
Man, definitely Tekashi 6ix9ine
Agreed.
because, like, first of all, if and when he gets out, he's gonna have to do some extensive tattoo removal. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Because he's snitching on everybody.
Dude.
What, he's gonna change it to an 8?
He gonna have to leave-
68? He's gonna put 68?
If he can leave the country, he gonna have to leave the country. If he makes it
But
out.
there's no way that man goes into witness protection. He's done.
I
I mean, how do you hide that?
you don't. I don't know how you hide. You
Maybe
can't hide.
he changes the game because we are living in a day and age where, like, these rappers, you could just be fake. It's like acting. They're just taking on these roles,
Bro,
right?
so they said
So
that.
it's like he could become like this new, like his music could be about snitching now, for all we know.
Bro, but
Like,
these-
yeah, I
genre?
told on you, and I told on you.
Well,
and
fuck that.
so he's facing life, but they said if he cooperates with the feds, he's looking at 47 years, right?
47 years to cooperate.
Yeah,
That-
but get this though, he's gonna be PC'd up the entire time, right? They're not gonna let this man go into GP. They're not, 'cause
Well, honestly, or you can have a situation where he just hates himself, like just from the stress of it. Because with that other guy that since we're talking about just cats doing time, that one rich guy.
The Jewish dude, the Wu-Tang dude.
Was
You
he
think about the
Wu-Tang?
Wu-Tang shit?
Maybe because he had that whole he was down with Trump, and then
Oh yeah, okay, I know what you're
and then
talking
he had that whole sex dungeon type shit
Yeah.
that he had at the
Canceled his
crib.
ass.
Yeah, now he did time.
Cancel
but he
culture.
but he didn't want to do time. Well, they had him in, but then he killed himself inside. So I don't even know how strong 6ix9ine Tanashi is. To be honest, like mentally, I mean, the dude's just he's snitching, like trying to. I mean, you getting 47 years first of all. You ain't getting
Yeah.
out anyway. So
He started doing the math. He's like, I'll be 69. He's like,
nah.
he got like
I
a
know.
third grade reading level.
But they'll still
what I'm
get to him. There's no way he gets out of that alive. I just don't see it. Either he takes himself out or someone gets to him, even if he's
Somebody
under
murdering him.
protection.
So-
He's going to get touched.
I mean, everyone talks about don't snitch, don't snitch, don't snitch, right? That's a street code.
That's a street code.
But what if, just hypothetically speaking, what if you was in that predicament, right? I mean, everyone can, like playing devil's advocate here, everyone can bash
Here's the
on this
thing.
man.
If you represent that, if he wore that jacket.
Yeah.
He wore the I'm from the streets, I'm this and that, blood, woo woo. And then when he got caught, he broke that code. If he was just a regular degler dude, and he's kicking it, and he just say like
If he was built up in it, he wouldn't
Right.
fall.
But he flipped like
Because he wasn't built from it.
instantaneously.
because he had a late start. In that game, there is no late start. Like you said, you got to kind of
But
grow up.
it
in
wasn't like
gang
he was
culture. You
jumped
don't
in though. It seems like he was just like he was a bitch. He was
Yeah.
just basically he was working under they basically put him under an umbrella. But he ain't get jumped in that I've heard. He ain't really do no real no real hood shit. He,
He
ain't
was
do no
like all
nothing
cuss
gangster.
talk too for a minute. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then he started running with them Bloods and like
Yeah.
there was a murder. What's the dude? One of the dudes he pointed the finger at. His name's like Murder something.
Oh.
But he was like he's the connection to Jones and all them. And
Okay.
see, like I'm more afraid for what they can do inside to him than what I mean anyone on the outside. Because most of these motherfuckers
John
on the
Wick
outside
right
are
now,
on some
bro.
fuck shit. They're just on.
He's John Wick right
he-
now.
he's-
Everybody gunning for you right now.
He's done.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's you don't do
Hey
that.
man, you gotta worry about Cardi B too, even because Cardi B like she's like, you know what I mean? Like she's from the Bronx, she's crazy, she know people, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you can't. He's snitching on everybody.
Yeah, no, that's a wrap right there though.
Here's the thing too, kids. Like telling is okay if you have nothing to do with it. Like if somebody smokes your friend in front of you and you have no street ties or anything, then you know what I mean. That's
Yeah.
just regular justice.
Okay.
But you know,
Okay.
snitching is like when you are with the shit and then shit hits the fan and you take everyone down. That's snitching. And that's exactly what Tekashi's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
He giving up the ass in a lot
Yeah,
of ways,
he's-
bro.
and now he's trying to be, now he's trying to wear a civilian hat. Like, you're never gonna be a civilian after this.
Nah.
Like,
Nah.
you're a snitch.
Nah, yeah,
Regular motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, that aren't from the streets, you know what I'm saying? You call them civilians. You know what I mean? And they just doing civil duties. You know what I mean?
Doing the
civil duties.
They're just the civil
serving and
duties
protecting
away.
the country. Let's see what else is good, y'all. I mean, a lot of stuff happened this week, right? They had the Area 51 raid.
Oh, you knew that wasn't going nowhere. That wasn't going
One
nowhere.
person got arrested.
And that's
It's-
where my
it's 'cause
podcast.
He was pissing.
That's where I podcast from. You know what I'm saying? It's not quite a secret location. You know, but we got alien guns and technology. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
Lasers.
Well,
You know what I mean?
yeah, they wasn't gonna do that. That was all hype, man. I mean, that whole running out to go do that. I mean, first of all, it's like it's government property. So
100
you ain't telling what's
people
out
showed
there.
up.
Yeah.
And I'm a believer in that. And I'm so upset that only 100 people showed up. What happened to all the UFO truthers? You know what I mean?
Because it's the Twitter fingers, man. All they want to do is they talk that shit, but when it's time to put into action, it's not a lot of real people out there for it. I mean, just in GP on a lot of stuff, man. It's like, yeah, I'll be there. They ain't got nothing invested in it, so why bother?
I definitely don't when I say aliens, I'm talking about little green men. But I am talking about like this advanced technology. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. This could even be human technology from like thousands of years ago. But you know what I'm saying? We've had so many natural disasters and restarts.
Man.
You know what I mean? And you know, information being lost. So you know, we could be just in this what's the word called? Like this continuous loop. You know what I mean? And like we're just kind of rediscovering some other shit because, like, I don't know. I just so want to believe in UFOs too. That's why. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, we spaceships, B.
Hey, man, I can't call that one way or the other because what cracks me up most about all of it though is like you don't really know. I mean, right now we got climate change, which is a big issue right now. So you got all that stuff going on, with just the people that's really dealing with like overseas, like the Bahamas, Puerto Rico, like it's a lot going on out there right now, man. So.
Yeah, did you hear about Trump? He just turned away all those boats of people. You know what I mean? Coming from the Bahamas.
Oh man, that's a tough
one. You know what I mean? And it's like,
that's a tough one.
It's crazy because we're living in a day and age where like, it's like they're using the word like preparation when they really mean paranoia. Like they're preparing for all this shit.
Bogey getting deep, man.
They're just paranoid than the motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yo, so what have you guys been listening to recently, man? Like, on your iTunes, on your Spotify's, on your Apple Musics, outside of the Head Knock camp, right? Like
Spotify be trying to give me this daily mix. They be you start pushing favorites on the track that you like or something that you're inspired by.
They start building a little algorithm for you.
Yeah, they do. So I got like like this morning I was listening to a mix since you bringing it up, right, on Spotify, and so it's daily mix 1 and it started off with Pusha T on mine. So so my rotations always seems to be like Pusha, Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Especially
I like it. All the drug dealers. I like it. All the D boys.
All the D boys.
Yeah.
But I've always been like, when it comes to music, mine has always been an East Coast vibe, like gritty. You know what I'm saying? I mean, growing up on the East Coast anyway. So I mean, I like West Coast. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But
speaking of East Coast,
yes, sir.
and you said West Coast.
I'm a Midwest cat anyway. I'm a Midwest cat. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I'm just saying, like, you just reminded me of who I've been fucking with recently. It's these artists from Buffalo. Their shit's called Griselda Blanco Records. Or Griselda Records.
Okay.
And they're from Buffalo, and they're straight on some gritty 90s like
MOP type shit.
His name's Westside Gun, and the other dude is named I think it's Kamal. I forget the second dude, but they're signed to Shady now.
Oh, what?
And these dudes, they rap over old school samples.
Oh shit, I gotta check that out.
Like how Ghostface used to do it.
Yeah.
Ghostface would just rock even over the lyrics. But they're chopping the loops, but they're adding deep bass, and they're keeping the original snares from the sample. Like it's gritty and like it's dope. You guys should check them out.
Yeah.
You'll have an appreciation for.
Well, I guess we have to add them to the mix next time we come back in here, man. Throw it up for the whole world they listen to, right?
Yeah. I've been listening to oldie but goodie. One of my favorites, man. Joel Ortiz just dropped a new one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
I fuck with Joel.
Yeah, Joel is hard.
Joel got
He's
bars,
so underrated
man.
though.
Yeah.
He's got bars, man.
All day. Like I listen to him and it just inspires me because that dude just has wordplay for days.
Yeah, he's got like 2 tracks of mine that I forget from which album though, but I'll look it up. But
that Slaughterhouse introduced me to him. And like shout out to Joe Budden. He's kind of the one who put all them together.
Was it Budden who did that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I mean, I know he's with it, but I didn't know he started it.
He was the glue because he had already worked with all of the music.
All right, let's rank the Slaughterhouse folks, right?
Okay, yeah, I like that.
I'm gonna go first. So I'm gonna say the meanest MC in Slaughterhouse is Joel. That's for me.
Okay.
Okay.
It's hard to argue that.
Second,
is it?
Second, I'm gonna have to go with my man Crooked Eye. Crooked Eye is dope.
Yeah,
severely underrated.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to go Royce, and then last will have to be Budden for me.
Okay.
But they're all dope, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But just as sometimes for me, Crooked Eye is number one. I mean, they flip flop, right?
You know what? I got Crooked Eye at a smooth second because I like Royce. Maybe it's just because I followed him. Like I grew up a Shady fan, so Shady that's how I got to Royce and company, and he was just I also like the growth.
Yeah.
And I think and he's like. Those are the days he was still drinking, the Slaughterhouse days. You know what I'm saying? He was just drunk. Royce is the shit.
Royce is legit, man.
Royce used to be a for real alcoholic. I mean, and then, like that's why I'm even like impressed with his stuff now because he's sober and it's like even more wittier and sharper. You know what I mean?
I know I follow him on Twitter, but he's always got bars, man. I like Royce,
Yeah.
man. My order, that's
I do
tough,
got
man.
the last two though.
See, I probably would say Joel's one, and it's a tough one between Royce and Crooked Eye for me because that's almost interchangeable for me. I mean, I'm about to go Royce 2, Crooked Eye 3, and then Joe Budden 4.
So the common denominator is Budden's
Budden's
at the
last.
bottom.
I mean, Budden's
Hey, is
dope.
that why
Don't
Budden
you-
went in the media? He was like, all right, well, this thing's not really panning out like I want to.
No, I think he's still dropping. I think he's still dropping records though. I mean, I like his
No,
podcast, and he's on Revolt
He
too.
claims to have been retired because I listened to his podcast. It's pretty funny. It's
Yeah.
good entertainment value. And
Yeah, I followed him on Twitter too. I just checked him out, so I've been catching little.
yeah,
snips
he's
in there.
multimedia Joe now. That's what he is.
Well,
You know what I mean?
So
He's getting that media bag.
So since this is our first podcast, right? We must have been inspired by podcasts that we've listened to,
Oh yeah.
right? So why don't we go around and talk about maybe who y'all listen to on a podcast?
Man, out the gate, first time I even heard the term podcast was back in 2012, and this was during this time I was doing a lot of psychedelic drugs. I was doing a lot of DMT. Right? This shit's fucking
Bro,
incredible. You know what I mean?
Bogey is on
Yeah,
one
like,
right
bro,
now.
like one of my boys was like, you know who fucks with DMT? And I was like, who? He's like, Joe Rogan, bro. And like, so I checked out Joe Rogan, and he had this podcast.
Right.
And like, he would talk about doing DMT and doing like, mushrooms and stuff. And like,
Yeah.
it was just right up my alley because, like, psychedelics really kind of changed my life in the positive way.
Okay.
So like, you know what I mean? And matter of fact, that's why we're even doing our own podcast now. Like, come from me, like, because it's coming from Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? Like, or at least not coming. We're
Yeah.
doing this because of me, but I'm saying I want to do podcasts because of Rogan.
Man, how much DMT you do today?
You know what? You do it every night.
Yeah, was it every night?
Yeah,
I only know the rules on that
every
one.
night you can. Okay, what DMT is dimethyltryptamine, and it's a chemical that your pineal gland produces. So every night your pineal gland releases a little melatonin. You go into REM state, and then you fall asleep, and then they trickle a little bit of tryptamine, which is the DMT, and you dream. So this is your dream juice. So when you do DMT, you know what I'm saying? First of all, DMT is natural. They extract it from a root. Then you get it in a little clay form. You put it on top of some weed. You hit the weed, and there's no buildup. You go immediately. Boom. You blast off because your pineal gland, is releasing a
Dropping knowledge
stockpile
right
of
here on day
tryptamine.
one.
Like you only you do this naturally 2 times when you're as a fetus in the womb and when you're about to expire. So for example, say I get shot, bam, bam, bam,
Right.
and then they're like, clear, and they bring me back, right? Right? They bring me back, and then I'm like,
Right.
oh, I seen the light, and I seen God, and because your brain knows the body was about to expire, so it releases this stockpile of tryptamine.
Right.
So even some say it's like they call it the spirit molecule because the pineal gland is often referred to as the third eye. So
I
like,
see, yeah.
so like you close your eyes and you're smashing through space and time, and it's like a 10-minute trip, but then you're just like, it's just so mind opening. Like I don't know,
You
it's
did
hard
your
to explain.
research, fam.
Bro,
I've done this shit a bazillion times. Like it's one of those things. Even if it's the first time you've ever heard of DMT, for those who, for all our listeners out there, you know what I mean? You got to put this on your bucket list. It's one of those things. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know if we can do
Put
that.
that shit on the bucket list, bro.
Bobby,
Shout out to Joe Rogan. That's
Bobby
why.
is like the podcast mascot. This man is hilarious.
Don't give me
bro.
that hat yet. I'm not wearing that hat just yet.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I've been
What about you,
listening.
Bryce?
I've been listening to the Ben Baller podcast, man.
Ooh, I fuck with Ben Baller.
I'm about
Not his podcast yet, but I fuck with him just as a person.
Yo,
He's-
but
he's
just
dope.
just hearing like his
Stories.
story.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
Man.
add that to my queue then. I don't think
Yeah,
I
the
checked
Ben
that out.
Baller one's dope because he talks about how he used to work at Burger King and now he's like worth
And
millions.
he used to hustle too.
Yeah.
Bro, and it's
Yeah.
sort of like the same boat that we're in, you know what I mean? Like, just some average cats just hustling, right?
Yeah.
So just hearing this story and how he came up and all that, man, it really like pulled me in, and I've been listening to every
Every
episode
episode.
since.
Oh, that's crazy.
Isn't that a cool day and age we live in, though, that there's a market for people that just want to hear people talk? You know
Well, I
'Cause
mean-
that's essentially what podcasts are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
But I mean, that's just human beings in general, though. I mean, as much as they trying to get like, with texting, virtual reality, and all that, keeping everybody distant, but at the same time, everybody needs that, that kind of some dialogue on a regular basis.
Do you
man.
think people have a hunger for podcasts and listening to people conversate because of the lack of actual human interactions because of social media and stuff like that? You think that could be a thing?
That
See, I would've-
in a
that's where I would
variety,
hit the
though.
Jamaican one right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just had an epiphany right there. Like, whoa, maybe there's a market for people that listen to.
But it's so much
podcasts 'cause
content. Yeah, and then plus there's a lot of way to entertain information.
But it's also celebrities too. Like now we get closer to celebrities ever because we, you know what I mean? Like the who's who got podcasts.
Well,
Right.
I think the allure of podcast is you really get to peel back the layers and see people for who they are outside of the persona that they portray, right?
Right.
Like, you know, with Ben Baller, like you portray him to be, you know, this big old jeweler, rich dude, but then you realize that he's just like, I mean, he went through the same struggles as us, right?
Right.
And like
Yeah,
with
he
Joe
from the street.
Rogan, right? Like you see him as a UFC commentator,
Yeah.
and then when you hear
Stand-up
him talk
comedian.
about stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, yo, I can
fuck
relate
with
to
dude.
this dude,
Yeah,
right?
Pause.
So, I mean, I think that's what people are missing, and that's what people are more.
It's a good way to get a lot of information too, though.
Yeah,
You
I mean
know?
that's what more people are like.
And it'll
Inclined to
make
see.
work go by so fast.
Kind of does.
When you're at work, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll listen to these lengthy podcasts, like even, you know what I'm saying? Like them 2-hour joints. You know what I mean? Like
Man, how long it take you to get to work? You
know,
listen to
really.
while you drive.
no, I'm saying like I'm talking about like when when you're sitting there, and you know I don't do an office job per se, but you know what I'm saying, I do house rehabbing. You know what I'm saying? So I might be painting some shit,
Right.
and I have the headphones on, and like, you know, it just makes the time go by
yeah,
so
yeah.
much quicker. I'll return to a podcast, finish it after lunch,
Yeah.
type of shit. Like I know I'm not the only one in the world that does that. That's why it's the beauty
Mine's,
of it. Like,
mine's is probably more political right now. I listen to a lot of political, like Pod Save America. I listen to some comedy stuff too every once in a while. I like, you know, I'll do those too. I like some comedy joints. But yeah, we're gonna have to get ready to wrap this up real quick for the first one. But
the name is the work in progress.
yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Let's give it on. Let's give it a whirl. Like close it up with the name. See how it sounds.
Well, you know, I thought HeddPodd.
The HeddPod.
HeddPod
So
wave,
you'd be
right?
like, you know what I'm saying? Thanks again
HeddPod,
for the
HeddPod,
HeddPod, the wave pod. You know what I'm saying? This has been another episode of the HeddPod.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
hold up, man. Let's give each other our
Yeah.
handles, man. Let's give the listeners our
No,
handles
no,
on IG,
no,
right?
I wasn't actually closing it.
Oh,
I
I thought
giving
you
it
was
a
going-
whirl.
Wait, no,
We were test driving it, just see how that
I
sounds.
didn't get
Right?
it.
I like.
But yo, if
I'll
you
throw
first
my
will go
phone on
with the
HeddPod.
handle, yeah, give me your IG and your Twitter. Where you at the most so they can see you?
I guess I'll probably follow me at Bogart Scott Free World on IG. Also follow me at the GMM Network, and you'll also see me under the Head Nod umbrella. That's home.
Yes, sir. What you price?
Price. It's at Price_VXX on Instagram. Also follow us at HeddNod. That's at HeddNod.
Two Ds.
Yep, on
Two Ds.
Instagram for all the latest releases. see
That's
the
good.
camp.
I almost missed that one.
Follow my man, the myth, the legend, at Prime1.
Yes, sir.
He's the mastermind
Shout
behind
out
all
Prime.
this.
Shout out
out to
Prime.
Prime.
Oh, yeah. And then it's your boy, Mr. Epic, Mr. Slow Flow, they say. But you can catch me at IG. Twitter's all the same. It's at Mr. Epic, MistaEpik. And again, holler at HeddNod. And again, this is the first, podcast, HeddPod, The Wave. Bring y'all more of a little bit of everything, work in progress. But we hope you enjoyed the first one. And we holler at y'all soon.
Yeah.
Till the next time.
Yep.
Peace.
Yeah.